You might be able to see what I've done with this. I don't have, well, I do have some masking tape, masking fluid, sorry. But for some reason, the masking fluid has actually got in the lid, so I can't remove that. So today, I wanted to share with you how to mask out areas without using masking fluid. I know it's one of those things, it's quite controversial. A lot of people don't like to use masking fluid, but I do think it's a good thing, and it is good to reserve your highlights. So this scene, it's just it's a simple landscape, and I've got a bit of water in the scene. So I have taped it off. You'll see. Hopefully, when I remove the tape, you'll see the effect that the masking tape is giving. So let's just add some water and some sky. So there's just a bit of blue, and it's not very clean. It's just from a palette, so not too bothered about that. Just looking at this paper, I'm getting a funny effect. This paper's been held. It's been kept in my conservatory, so I don't know. We're just gonna have to see what happens, but it's not looking. It's looking a bit mold. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. It's probably. Hopefully, it doesn't affect the painting too much, but not quite happy with that. Don't know what's going on, but let's just keep going and see what we can do. It's just trial and error with painting sometimes, and just got to go with the flow and see what you can do. So these areas of masking tape, if you can see, these are going to hopefully give me a nice clean white highlight for the clouds. So let's just leave that for now. And like I said, I've taped this line here. So I want to get a little bit of that reflecting, a little bit of that sky color reflecting in the water. So let's just pull that across, and we can add a little bit more blue. We'll cover a lot of this. This is just my first wash. I'm not quite sure whether this is going to turn out with the paper, but we'll see. Usually there's something goes on with painting, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do too many lives now. It kind of scared me not the last time, but time before. I had a little issue with the sound. So if you do join, I do see a few of you. Hi Susan. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if the audio's good. Were we calling again? Oh, Michael Downward. Hi. Thanks for joining anyway. Hi, Elite Computer Man. Thanks for being here. Welcome. I don't know how long I'm going to be on for, but let's just see. Just want to add a little bit of red to that mix. So I want a little bit of a purpley colour. I really don't know how this paper is going to hold up. I did have it out in the conservatory in the heat, and it might have affected the sizing on the paper, but we'll see as we go on, and hopefully it doesn't cause too much of an issue. Like I said, I'm just adding a little bit of warmth now, so a little bit of the yellow ochre, and I'm going to switch brushes now. You can see I did start with the small hake brush. Thank you for the like, by the way. Thank you, Susan. I can always rely on you. Audio is perfect. Brilliant. Brilliant. Hopefully I can make this a bit of a habit as well, going live. I'm not convinced with the people that I get on. I don't really seem to hit enough people. Should that stop me? Maybe not. I know a lot of you will be joining the replay, so welcome to those on the replay as well. When it does go, when I do finish the live, anyway. So I'm just dabbing into some nice earthy tones, and this is just a bit of a shoreline. Like I said, there is a bit of water in this scene, so let's see how that goes. And last time I did a painting and I wanted my scraper, didn't have one. So, I don't think I've replaced it yet, but I do have another thing that I can use for scraping. But we'll leave it for now. Maybe just crudely use my fingernail for a few rocks in the highlights, but it's not too much of a deal. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I know the audio's good. Thank you for letting me know, Susan. I'm just wondering, let's see, as I take off the tape. All I did with this was just get a roll of tape and have it on my crafting mat, and then just cut out a few shapes. And I don't want them too square, and it does look a bit crude. And this is one reason why people don't like using masking fluid, because it gives that harsh, strong, hard lines. But what you can do is you can go in and soften those anyway. Just going to pull that tape. There's two bits here. So hopefully this looks okay so far. It's worked anyway. So I can go in and change brush now. I don't need the hake for this now. So I'm going to go with my pocket brush, which I really do like, a pocket travel brush, which is a Jackson's size. I don't know whether that's 6 or 9. I don't know. Usually they have a line underneath, so you can tell if it is a 6 or a 9. But with this, it doesn't. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of a darker grey for the clouds. I really don't know what's happened to this paper, why it's gone like this. I'm presuming it's the sizing that's probably got damaged, so it's not acting the way it should. Well, let's see. Let's carry on, and hopefully we can get ourselves a nice little painting from it. Like I said, so if you do have these harsh white areas, you can always soften those, soften the edges a little bit with a little bit of water. I do want to keep most of that, because it is quite nice to get these highlights, and just painting in between the highlights. So I've got some nice cloud formations, and the lighter areas are offering some light. So this does make a difference. When you go in dark next to the light, that's what you want, and that really does sort of amplify the highlights. Not sure I like this, and the paper is really putting me off. But anyway, you can see it's sort of settling, but It's almost like I could imagine painting on a cartridge paper, sort of a quality cartridge paper. So you got the thickness, but it's the surface that's not acting the way it should, and that's my fault. Kind of left this paper too long. But anyway, let's try not to worry. I do want a few little mountains in this scene. And I do have a house or a building, some sort of building, maybe a seaside cottage by the sea. So that's quite nice. And we'll get to that in a minute. Let me add a bit more blue to this. I want this to be quite a nice colour. And this is distance. It's way off in the distance, so I don't want it too dark. I don't want it too sort of in your face. It is very distant, so these look more like mountains. What do you think? Go outside and grab a stick. Yeah, what for the scraping? Yeah, probably right. Remove that tape. I have no idea what's gonna become of this one, Susan. I've no clue, but we're just gonna go ahead and see. You know, one thing that about painting, sometimes you've just gotta try and make it work. You know, things go wrong and things are sometimes unexpected on the paper, and that's when we've got to try and use what we know to pull things back. So I'm hoping that we can make something of this famous last words. So I want to go in and let's get any more water on that, and I'll get some. I don't know, Susan, what do you think? It's looking a bit messy. I don't think this is going to work. I think this is a live stream disaster so far, but let's just see if we can make it work. And it might give me a look, it might do something quite unique, hopefully. It might come, it might work, might be able to pull something from it. But let's, okay, I want to. Add. Okay, what I'm going to do, excuse the noise, I'm going to add some tape to this again, and this is going to preserve a little highlight to the water. So it gives me that straight line to paint to. So let's go in with some of this purpley colour down to that tape. Let me know in the comments if you are a fan of masking fluid, if you do use it. I keep meaning to buy some more, but I've not been to any art stores. We've got two really nice art shops. Otherwise, I just order online. And I've not done that for a little while, so I'm due to go and get some more paper as well because I'm out of paper. This is one sheet that I had left and I cut it in half. And this is the second half that I'm using. So yeah, it's just let's get some yellow ochre in the land as well. This paper really is a bit of a nightmare, to be fair. Now let's remove this tape. And what we want to do, that's actually the water as well, I'm thinking. So let's just add a little bit of blue mix light blue. That can be reflections from the sky area. Maybe it's too dark, I'm not sure, but like I said, it's not giving me the results I'm looking for. Not behaving the way it should, that it normally does. Let me know in the comment section if you've had similar experience, maybe not on a live, but in general, if you've been affected by something like this. Yeah, okay. The Schminke tube squeeze one. Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. I think I need to get it in a tube because the glass ones, the Windsor and Newton, they're on a screw-on lid. So that's the fault with that. You do get when you get some masking fluid in the lid, it kind of seals it shut. So yeah, I think I do need to invest in a squeezy tube. That makes more sense indeed. So I'll have to do that. Okay, so just going in and adding just a few little details in this called a beach. So I do apologize if I do go quiet for this one. It's sort of taking a bit of thought how I can fix this painting because it really isn't ideal. The paper, it's been ruined. So if you want to stick around to see how I can hopefully make a painting from this, hopefully I can, but all will be revealed. And I want some yellow ochre in this headland here where the building is. Let's bring that out. Okay, I'm gonna get some water on that. I just want it softened a bit. Okay, I don't know how that sky's looking to you, the clouds. That will need fixing. Definitely needs something doing there. But let me add the shadow side of the building. So my light source is coming from the right. And you can see it doesn't, you put paint down, you can't really do much on this particular paper anyway. This is not usual. This is not normally what happens, and that's the challenge that I've got today. But let's just see if I can fix it. I'm gonna go for a red roof, bit of a red roof on this. And I'm just gonna stop there. I don't want it touching the, take some of that colour off actually. It's a bit strong, but I don't want to touch the bottom part of the building. Don't want it to bleed. And now just gonna add a couple of windows or something, or a window. Don't know, I think that will do. Okay, I'm going to switch now to my liner brush. You know, this really does put me off going live. Control a bit better. Yeah, the tip to the paintbrush is essential, and that's something that I've only just, I guess it's one of those things that I sort of forgot about. I got um, carried away with the brushes that I always use. And if you've seen that, I recently discovered a brush that I've had for a long time. And I really do like using that brush because it does have the really nice point. So that does make a difference. Okay, so that's sort of a tree. So you working today, Susan? Susan's one of my friends from the States. And she always pops in with my lives, so I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm gonna, while I'm waiting for things to dry, things that I can fix, because you can see the, oh, this is terrible. But I don't know, might get an interesting effect. It might turn out quite interesting, hopefully. But while I'm waiting for the paper to dry, I'm just going to add a few little details on this shoreline, which I do like to do. And I just like using my liner brush sometimes. It gives that nice, loose, random markings. So I don't want it too controlled or anything like that. Just going in and adding bits here and there. Just, it's always nice to get a dark area in the bottom or on the edges of the scene. It's always quite nice to do that. So that's what I'm doing here, and it just gives a nice contrast. If you've got a soft background as well, which I have, you know, the distance. So it just gives that overall sort of distance in the scene. I think I might turn these into mountains. Well, we'll just see. Once it dries, I'll have more of an idea. But that's sometimes what happens when you're painting. Let me know in the comment section if you've had to change things quite dramatically because of, I don't know, maybe something that you're not in control of, and that's one of the beauties of watercolor. It does sometimes take you by surprise and do things that you're not expecting. In this case, it's probably my error. This was a normal paper that I'd got from somewhere else. If it wasn't stored in the conservatory, then it would have been completely different. But you just got to work with it and see what you can pull from it. Like I said, I'm sort of doubting this now, but carry on anyway. Let's see what we can do. So yeah, if you're joining me for the first time, please do stick around, see how this goes, and give me a thumbs up so that this live goes out to more people. And I do appreciate those that have given me a like. Thank you, Susan. It looks beautiful there. Well, hopefully it will do, but I'm kind of doubting that, but I do appreciate that. I've not seen you for a while, Susan. Are you still struggling with your hand, your wrist, the carpal tunnel? Let me know. I've not seen a video pop up for a little while, and hopefully you get back to it soon. I think it's probably just your wrist. But yeah, things happen, and sometimes we got to take that little break and especially if we've got injuries that prevent us from painting, then that's totally understandable. So I'm going to add a few little sort of rocks and things going to the shoreline. This could be a lake, it could be I think it's probably a bit big for a river, could be a river, a lake, or a beach, some sea, ocean, whatever it may be. I did look on, I got this idea from Pinterest. So I've loosely just got the elements of the painting that I saw on Pinterest. I'm using that as my reference while I just sketched out a couple of things. So I'm not copying it because my memory isn't that good. It's just one that I saw today as I was looking for inspiration. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. Pinterest can be quite good for that. I don't really use Pinterest much, but if I am looking for a subject and I'm sort of out of ideas, especially with this format, with it being a live, I usually paint landscape format. This is obviously in portrait, so I'm out of my comfort zone anyway. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm just going to pop a little window or something on the side. Okay, and oh, I do want a chimney, so let's get a dark little chimney on this roof. Okay. Maybe I can get a couple of lines. Not too many. I just want a little impression of movement in the water. And I'm thinking these are going to have to be mountains. So I need to make quite a dark mix. Let's go for it. See, this is one of the things as an artist, sometimes you just got to compromise and do things that weren't expected. So let's just go for it anyway. And it might turn out for the best. You know, sometimes things happen for a reason. That old cliche, but it's true. And these are just huge mountains. So yeah, sometimes things happen for a reason and we don't know why, but we can make it into a positive, I suppose. So hopefully this will work. Okay, might be crude looking, but we can pull something from it. I'm thinking, right, okay, so I've got a mix. This mix is sort of a sepia, quite a dark mix. So I'm just going to get in the side of the mountains, and then for my shadow sides, I'm going to add a bit of blue to that mix. So hopefully it gives me a nice shadow colour. Now I could make this, because the way it looks quite painterly, quite you can see the brush strokes, that sort of thing. So I'm probably going to go with that, make it part of the painting, just make it look that way. yeah. So I've got a few hard edges I want to soften up. I can add a little bit into those whites so they're not too bright. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of cerulean blue to that mix. And let's see if this can be sort of darker shadows in between the mountains. I think that works. I don't know. Let me know what you think. It does look quite. Not sure I like this one at all. And let's have some sort of misty. Not sure. I don't think I like this one at all, and I think this is going to be a quick live stream. It's not going to be on for long because this paper has epically failed. Like I said, it's my fault. But there we go. That's just life, and it is what it is. And that's one thing when you paint and you do paintings, and sometimes you really don't like what you've painted. There is some people, there's an audience for it, and some people will like it. I'm not sure about this one in this case, but usually you get some people who do like the painting. It's just not on the way that I expected. That's all. So that's all it is. And so let me work on this a little bit. I can just add more interest into the foreground, the shoreline, add some more darks to here and there. And someone will probably like it. I'm not quite convinced. It's just one of those disasters. I think I'll put it down to that. Put it down to experience, and I think I'll call this one done. Just I don't want to carry on. I don't want to carry on, but let's remove the tape anyway and see what the painting looks like. You can see where I cut this paper. It's not very straight, and that was because I cut with a small pair of scissors. So there's my painting. Not sure. Don't really like it, to be honest. It's a failure, epic failure. But sometimes it happens, and you just got to try these things, and it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. And my last video was all about mistakes in watercolor. So it's quite appropriate that this is the follow-up. So yeah, that's my mistake. There we go. I think we can finish. We can call this one done. Maybe what I can do, let me just add a little bit of pen. Let me just add a little bit of pen to the building. Oop. And then just kick the camera over. So there we go. Mistakes in watercolor. That's very appropriate. So just a few little lines. outlines in pen. I do like doing this in watercolor, just gives that building a little pop, and that's it. I hope you do like it. There will be someone who does like it, someone. But that's a quick painting. Obviously, not planned with the not planned with the paper. The paper's an epic fail, but I've done what I can, and it is what it is. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.